Hey everybody, it's MasterAquatics and I'm bringing you guys another video. Guys, it feels so good doing a voiceover. I haven't done one of these in a few videos, but let's talk about my bathtub pond. You see, I've been smelling like straight up doo-doo for the past 5 days. Like, I couldn't take it anymore, so I decided, the best thing for me to do right now is to get rid of this pond. I enjoyed seeing fish in my bathtub every morning. I really did. But, I really missed taking showers, like hot showers. I decided that I was going to move these goldfish into their own aquariums, even though this was probably the best home they've ever had, ever. I mean, they absolutely loved the tub. You can see for yourself, fish were always swimming around. They were always active. So while these fish were living in my tub, they had the greatest quality of life. It was really easy taking care of these guys. Like, I had to do zero work for these guys. I know I only kept them for 5 days, but I was really anticipating a water change for these guys, but no, I never even had to do that. Their water stayed clean. All I had in there was an air stone and a sponge filter, and I just fed them once a day a pinch of bug bites, and they were good and healthy and taken care of. So this is the sponge filter that I was using. If you would like to use one, you can order one through Amazon like I did, and you just have to click on the link down in the description. I had it plugged up to an electrical outlet. I unplugged it, and as soon as I disassembled and unplugged the air pump, I was ready to go. And I had a orange bucket. I filled it with water from the tub, and I proceeded to catch these fish from the tub to put them in this bucket. Scooping these guys out was really not that hard. I mean, goldfish, they're pretty easy to catch. They're one of the easiest fish to net, in my opinion. There are a lot harder fish to net than these guys. Getting these guys out wasn't too hard, even with the amount of water that was in there, because I couldn't drain it to try to catch these guys without removing the PVC cloth first. But I thought it would be safer for the fish if I took them out first before I tried to get rid of the PVC cloth. And while I was putting the fish back into the bucket, I was really gentle with the guys. I was really gentle. I'm always gentle to the fishies because I love fishies, and I know most of the people that watch my channels love fishies too. So even though these guys are gonna get eaten, I take care of them. Because why? Because they're fish. And I'm a fish head, I'm a fish nerd. That's the PVC cloth, and this is underwater GoPro footage of me ripping a hole inside of the PVC cloth with my hands. So my thought process was rip a hole open as far down to the bottom as much as I can, and once I do that, the water will start draining towards the drain. So I was going to lift the drain up just like I did there, and it was going to drain the water. And I didn't have too much substrate in there, so I didn't have to worry too much about it going towards the drain. I was able to easily make sure that that didn't happen. So pretty much from this point on, everything was a success. I was able to get rid of the substrate easily. All I had to do was pull up on the PVC cloth like I mentioned in the video where I actually showed everybody how to do the pond. If you want to see how I turn my bathtub into a pond, I'll link the video down in the description. So now I have my shower back and I can take hot showers, and I'm really happy. So I was finally able to get all of the fish out of the bathtub. I was able to transfer them over here to the 20-gallon tank, which I've had set up for a while now. Also, I recently just changed the stand for this 20-gallon tank. I ordered a stand from Amazon that was being sold by Petco, and I gotta say, this is a really nice stand, and if anybody's interested, they can order one themselves through Amazon just by clicking on the link in the description. The rosy red minnows are for the fish in the 125-gallon tank. The goldfish are for the new fish, and I'll still have my 2 fantail goldfish in here. I'll be taking care of those guys, but all the other fish that are in here are going to be used for food. You might be thinking, what's the problem? What's going on? Well, let me go ahead and show you guys what's going on. So let's take a look at the 125-gallon tank first. The problem is that I need my peacock bass to grow a little bit bigger and add some size and some weight to himself really quickly here in the next month or so. The reason being is because I got a new fish currently in quarantine, but I underestimated the size of this fish. I really wanted to try and keep it. I feel like I can, and it was just a fish that as soon as I saw, I really wanted to try and keep it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the new fish. Okay guys, say hello to my little friend. Alright guys, this is what I got. As soon as I saw him in the shop, I had to get him. This is a baby tarpon fish, and they get really big. Now, when I first saw him, I thought the same thing you guys are thinking right now. What is that on his face? Well, that's not anything that I really need to be worried about. It's merely cosmetic. I will have to find someone, or I'll have to do it myself. I'll have to actually cut that off if I want him to look good, if I plan on keeping him long term. I'm not sure how I would do that. I've never done something like that before, but it's kind of like a mole on someone's face, so that's just part of his facial feature, I guess you could say. This guy is one of the healthiest fish I've ever had. I can say that because the first day I brought him here, he was already eating a small goldfish, and I'm about to show you guys how he eats. Honestly, I felt like he was healthy enough to be thrown right into the 125-gallon tank, but his size worries me a little bit, and that's where the problem comes in. I really like my peacock bass. I've only had him for a month, but I've already, you know, put in time and effort and caring for that peacock bass. I really don't want to lose it. So I was just afraid that if I put this fish in the 125-gallon tank, that he would possibly kill my peacock bass or my small catfish. But I'm not too sure. I was going to keep this guy in here for 2 to 3 weeks. I'm gonna medicate him. I'm also going to not feed him so much, because no matter how much you feed him, the next feeding after that, you will have to feed him even more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep his feeding to a minimum. I'm gonna feed him just enough to where he can live until I feel confident in moving him into the 125-gallon tank. While I'm doing this with the tarpon fish, I'm going to be power feeding my peacock bass in the 125-gallon tank. I'm gonna be constantly feeding that guy and changing out his water, and just, you know, making sure that he makes all kinds of gains and just grows and buffs up to where I feel like he can take on this baby tarpon. Meanwhile, the tarpon, he's gonna grow, but he's not gonna grow as fast as the peacock bass, because everyone knows if you want your fish to grow, you really need to feed your fish and change out their water on a daily basis. Speaking of feeding fish and changing out the water, that's actually what we're gonna do for this little guy right now. First, I'm gonna feed him, and then we're gonna go ahead and we are going to do a water change. Let me go ahead and get some small goldfish, and you guys are gonna see this guy chomp. Alright guys, so we're fixing to feed my baby tarpon. This is the first time on camera. I'm just going to show you guys what I'm going to feed him. This is just a decent sized rosy red minnow. I'm going to go ahead and throw that in there, and he's going to destroy that. Now here's the reason why I don't feel comfortable putting him in the 125-gallon tank. This is a pretty decent sized feeder goldfish. It's still alive. My peacock bass cannot eat this goldfish. Watch what happens when I throw it in there, okay? So everybody knows now that this guy can be pretty aggressive, and he can take down some fish. I can't wait to have him in the 125-gallon tank. As soon as I feel comfortable, I'll move him. But check this out, guys. Like, that's another sign also of how I knew that he was going to beat up on the other fish in there, or possibly eat them, because he takes monster dumps. I'm sorry. Like, this is like a puppy, man. Like, you're not even full grown, not even close. Like, you're just a kid, man. You're like a puppy in a glass box, in a water box. Let's go ahead and clean this guy up. Alright guys, so I'm finishing up the water change and I'm putting water back into his tank. He is down there. He is doing fine. I removed most of the poop that's in there, and I've already done this a few times. I do this throughout the water changes. I get a bottle of Prime and I put in a few drops just like that. It's gonna eliminate all of the chlorine. You can order this through Amazon. Link is in the description. That's where I get mine. And we're just gonna fill the tank all the way back up, and I'll turn on the filters and plug them back up, and he will be good to go to live forever and ever. Let me know what you guys think of this fish down below in the comment section. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up for me, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care and bye bye.